സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെ, ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ കാണാൻ പോകുന്നത് ഓസ്ട്രേലിയയിലെ ബ്രൂം എന്ന സ്ഥലത്തെ വില്ലി ക്രീക്ക് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പേൾ ഫാമാണ് കാണാൻ പോകുന്നത്. പേളിൻ്റെ ഷെൽ മുതൽ ഷോറൂം വരെയുള്ള പ്രോസസ്സിംഗ് ആണ് ഈ വീഡിയോയിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. വീഡിയോ അവസാനം വരെ കാണുക. പേളുണ്ടാകുന്ന ഷെല്ലിൻ്റെ ഗ്ലാൻഡ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അതിൽ കടന്നുകൂടുന്ന ഏതൊരു വസ്തു, കല്ലായാലും മരക്കഷ്ണമായാലും റിജക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന രീതിയുള്ള ഒരുതരം ഗ്ലാൻഡാണ് ഈ ഷെല്ലിനുള്ളത്. നിരന്തരമായ പരീക്ഷണത്തിൻ്റെ ശ്രമഫലമായി മെഡിറ്റേറിയൻ മസിൽസ് എന്ന വസ്തു ഈ ഗ്ലാൻഡ് റിജക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല എന്ന് തിരിച്ചറിയുകയും ആ മെഡിറ്ററേനിയൻ മസിൽസ് പൊടിച്ച് ബോൾ രൂപത്തിലാക്കി ഇതിൻ്റെ ഗ്ലാൻഡിനകത്ത് നിക്ഷേപിക്കുവാൻ തുടങ്ങി. ഈ ബോള് അതിൻ്റെ ഫാമിലിയിൽപ്പെട്ട മസിൽസ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് റിജക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കുന്നത് മൂലം അത് പേളായിട്ട് പരിണമിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈ പേളിൻ്റെ രൂപം, ഭാവം, നിറം, വലിപ്പം എന്നിവയെ ആശ്രയിച്ചാണ് പേളിൻ്റെ വില കണക്കാക്കുന്നത്. അങ്ങനെ $2 ലക്ഷം വരെ വിലയുള്ള പേളുകൾ ഉണ്ട്. ഈ പ്രോസസ്സിങ്ങിൻ്റെ വിശദമായ വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ ശ്രദ്ധയെ സാദരം ക്ഷണിച്ചുകൊള്ളുന്നു.
Like a movable tour, right? So the first part we're going to go into the nursery, and it's a perfect opportunity today. Right, we started yesterday, our first seeding, second week of our 2024 seeding program. So when we're doing the tour, you can actually see the technicians right behind us doing what they do. Right, we'll actually stop. We'll introduce Paul. Paul is our CEO, right, and he'll have a little bit of a chat to us about what we're actually doing, and then we'll actually put a camera down in an oyster, and we'll watch Hero exactly what he does. So it's pretty exciting time this time of the year, right? So this is the first time the oyster has had a nucleus placed inside to start making our pearl, right? So this is like the whole part of the whole tour today, right? It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. All right, I'm going to go and outline the jigsaw puzzle, but as we go along the next 2.5 hours, all the little pieces of that jigsaw puzzle will all come together. Okay, so I'll keep it very simple because there's a lot of information, a lot of technical stuff, so I'll keep it nice and simple, right, so all the little pieces can all fit together. Okay, So, looks like they're coming out. So we'll just hang here for a minute because it's going to be a bit of a nightmare if we try and go past them and it'll get all mucked up. Which is pretty a staggering amount. Yeah, 95%. Perfect. Okay. The second time I do it though, when we harvest the second one, it drops to a 50% chance. Right, so 1 in 2. That's why we stop at 3 when I've still got a 30 to 33% chance. We will do it a fourth go, but very, very, very limited amount of oysters. It might be only 50, and that's it. Because my percentage rate drops to a 5%. So if I go to only a... So guys, there's the anatomy of our oyster. Right? Okay, so the first part we're going to look at is the sensory tissues. That's the part that runs right around the outside of that oyster. Right, now Cass already mentioned, right, they're opening up having a feed. If a worm starts to crawl in, or if what about a fish or a turtle or a crab wants to crawl in and eat all that meat, straight away that abductor muscle will pick up that movement, pick up that danger. Yeah? And instantly, I'll just pull that over a little bit. Okay? That's that abductor muscle in the middle there. So that's a muscle, right, that opens and closes the oyster. We'll get to that photo in a second. Right? But that's a very, very sensitive muscle, that sensory tissue, sorry. Right, so he'll pick it. And you see there's a couple of worms on there that's gone in. Right? Laid nacre over the top of those worms. See that?
Yeah. Took the video.
See the worms? Black oyster. Not our same oyster. So this one, Pintada magnitifera. Or I call it Pintada magnificent. Because they are magnificent. Right? All grown in Tahiti. Not here. They're a very, very small oyster. Right? They cannot handle our big tides. They'll open up and have a feed, no problem. Whoops. Yeah, he can be a tour guide one day. Young Jason. Yeah, not my job. Same height, everything. Right? You can see these, so they're all going in Tahiti, anywhere underneath those Polynesian islands. Right? Much smaller tide, lot cooler water, happy days. Now saying that though, there is one, couple of places between here and Perth, Geraldton area. Right, again, smaller tides, right, a bit of cooler water. They have a lot of success growing these beautiful black pearls. And you can see all the different colours coming through there. Green, black, purple, silver. And they change colour all the time. Now I have a black one on. I call it like more of a man pearl. Right? We don't have them here, but back in our Chinatown and our Cable Beach showroom. Right? And they change colour all the time. Different light situations we're in. Right? It changes colour. Yeah. Cool, yeah. Any of those
Got a
ones,
black
Cook
pearl
Islands,
on the oyster.
The Polynesian Islands, yeah, and filtering mechanism. So they're the gills of the oyster. So we're just going to part those. We're not hurting the oyster at all. Let us help together with some mucus and some oyster juice. And the big white part we see at the back, that's the abductor muscle. The next little white part there is called the a part of the intestinal tract. Right, so you never ever want to cut that or nick that. That's the end of story. Right, so you just saw what Paul did. He just felt where that little pearl is. Okay. So now he turns his hand to a very, very strong and very sharp scalpel. Alright. Makes that little incision. Exactly what you saw Hero do. Right, now he turns his hand to a little pearl ring or scoop and scoop that little pearl out. Now this is the first time this oyster has produced a pearl for us. Have a look at this. Absolutely amazing. Look at the luster on that straight away. No one's ever seen this pearl before. Okay, first time. Okay. Now, Paul has a very, very, it's all very pitted. See that? All pitted like chalk now. That's caused from that Cleona. And Paul did say this is a very, very measured exercise, this one here. You do not want to place that oyster, sorry, that little wedge in that oyster too far. Right, you overstretch that abductor muscle. That muscle does not close up properly again. Right? End of story. Okay, done, finished. So very, very careful. So that's what Mackenzie and Derek were doing this morning, you can see they were placing the little. Well, they're the two female crocodiles that we have in the creek. Nigel is our main male. Nigel, no friends. Now, been in the creek system now for just on 18 years, so very, very territorial. And Paul did say this is a very, very measured exercise, this one here. You do not want to place that oyster, that little wedge in that oyster too far. Right, you overstretch that abductor muscle, that muscle does not close up properly again. Right? End of story. Okay, done, finished. So very, very careful. So that's what Mackenzie and Derek were doing this morning. You can see they were placing the little. See that? So the oyster doesn't think there's anything different, right? So that new nucleus has to be less than difference of a 0.05 of a millimetre. Those guys have unbelievable eyes. They don't measure them. It's all done with eyes. Incredible. They do so many and so many and so many. They know what they're looking at. So as I said, in the little box as we passed around all those nucleus, there are about 14 different sizes. And that for that reason.
വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടമായെങ്കിൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക, മറ്റുള്ളവരിലേക്ക് പരമാവധി ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക, നിങ്ങളുടെ അഭിപ്രായങ്ങൾ കമൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. ദേശീയ അന്തർദേശീയമായ വീഡിയോ ലഭിക്കുവാൻ ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക.